Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is cellular versus dial-up. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. And I wrote these a while ago, and the world has completely changed since then. So if I encounter anything that seems out of date, I will give you the most recent information. At the end, I will summarize the topic based on what's going on in the world today. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Cellular versus dial-up. A couple weeks ago, I got a haircut. It was a big deal for me in the storyline for many reasons. Because I'm taking care of my mother in DC, I hadn't even gotten a bangs trim since I left Seattle in June. I wrote this in October that year. Things have been so busy, and as I was so deep in Dorothy land, my mother's name was Dorothy, resurfacing to the real world to go into a salon in Georgetown was disorienting. Knowing that my energy could affect my hairstyle, I stood outside for a few minutes and tried to ground myself. It didn't really improve things. Then I realized I'd been using my old techniques and instead started to create an energy point from the lower part of my body to the center of the earth and collapse the wave between them. Actually, all I did was connect to the first point, and my entire awareness shifted. I became focused and cleared. It was the difference between the animation in Steamboat Willie and I wrote Puss in Boots, but just pick some most recent Pixar film. Old energy techniques using a grounding cord to release energy actually increases discomfort. It's sinking deeper into the mud. It invalidates spiritual awareness. Old energy techniques are old physics. It's like using dial-up versus your cell phone. Dial-up, you could connect to the cosmic internet, but you needed to be physically plugged in. It was slow. It took forever to download information. New energetic techniques are like quantum physics. With your iPhone, you can be anywhere and instantly connect. The beginning step is to touch or connect to a point that was stuck, fixed, or not moving, and then touch or connect to a point that was different, a new possibility, something open or fluid. Well, what I discovered on that street in Georgetown is that I didn't even have to do the second step. I just, in a sense, pointed to the center of the lower part of my body and everything changed. I won't even call it a chakra point anymore because chakras have changed. I mean, who knows what I really was first one pointing anyway. And I'll stop there as well because I'll forget this by the time I finish reading this blog. But the thing I noticed when I went through my own energy shift almost 20 years ago now is that, yeah, chakras had changed. And I had taught chakras since the 1980s. And it's a little bit like if you look at our energy systems now, it's like opening up the hood of an electric vehicle rather than looking under the hood of a gasoline engine. Or even if you go further back, what did gasoline engines look like in the 1950s? Our energy systems have changed in order to accommodate the higher vibration that is coming in. And it really allows us to, as energetic consciousness, embody our physical bodies more. And that creates profound and instantaneous change. Back to the blog. As I stepped into the salon and into a different reality, I created a stylist whose father currently has lung cancer and both grandmothers had Alzheimer's. Threads of connecting to my reality. And I got a great hairdo as well. So thanks to Megan, who probably doesn't even work in that salon anymore because it's 13 years later. One pointing to my new awareness doesn't change or fix or manipulate anything. You don't go to Disneyland not to ride the rides, but you do go to enjoy them. If you get in line for Splash Mountain, expect to get wet. I have not miraculously won the lottery. My mother's Alzheimer's hasn't gone away, and if anything, other subplots are developing more dramatically in the storyline. What have those cosmic scriptwriters been smoking? However, I navigate differently through it all. This planet, this hologram, is energetically changing, accelerating from my point of view. Consciousness is evolving, and individually, we're being required to operate off our own information as consciousness. It's a step up in responsibility. It's an expansion of power, energetic power, inner spiritual power. It's not ego's power over or dominance. So notice for yourself if anything in your life needs updating or an upgrade, if you will. Are you still using the same techniques you learned in that self-help workshop in college? Are you imitating your teacher or guru rather than owning this information for yourself? Try navigating differently for a week and see what happens. That's so interesting because now I only get a haircut once a year. That's beside the point. But it was really a profound change for me upgrading. I had been teaching energy techniques since 1981, 1982, something like that. And I was trained in a mystery school, and the techniques were based on mystical techniques, really from the ancient Egyptians. And I had been pretty faithful to the core aspects of that, even though I had gone to Findhorn and incorporated working with nature, and I had incorporated new and different things with that as well. But I went through a profound change in 2006. And for me, that was, I described it then like a shift to 5D. It was a consciousness shift where all my old techniques turned upside down and I had to upgrade them because really those old techniques really were like using dial-up, and the internet was really different in 2006. But by the time I wrote this, which was like October 2011, there was another shift required. So my upgraded techniques got upgraded. It was pretty profound. As I'm remembering that, it's like in the old days when I had a PC laptop, I used to hate upgrading to like the new level of Windows or whatever, because that meant things would get mucked up, stop working very well. But I have all Mac products, and this is not an ad for Apple, but I find it enhances things when I can upgrade to whatever the most recent version is. And I don't really think of it too much anymore. So all of our energy techniques and who we are continually going through upgrades. And then what that means is that some of the techniques that I've manifested completely transform, or I don't use the old ones anymore. I had an experience of this just the other day where I was walking along and I thought of something and I felt this whole reorganization of reality. I felt, in a sense, more grounded and centered, but within my form, because a vibration in external form is really high vibration. And if you try to use old anchoring techniques, it'll mire you into, at least in my experience, it'll mire you into the old paradigm of doing things, and things become very dense and effortful and painful. And when I can shift to operating as consciousness and navigating as consciousness, life really does become effortless, joyous, and free. So if you like these videos, please click the like button and subscribe. And that way you're telling YouTube to share this far and wide and get this out to someone who really needs to see this information. And please share this with your family and friends and on your social media. And if you'd like to have a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the Skybox technique. It'll give you an expanded perspective of your life and what's going on in your world. And if you want some manifestation techniques, Manifesting Money and Miracles is my self-study course where you can learn energetic techniques to completely change your external circumstances. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. There you can learn about my individual sessions where I take a look at you as consciousness and what's going on in your life today. And I can answer any questions you might have, whether it's about love or money, relationships, the future, your job. I can also talk to dead people, and it's all recorded just for you. And if you want to learn how to navigate your life as consciousness using some of these consciousness techniques, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching program where I work with you one-on-one and give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.